Okay, good evening. I Today I'm going to do something slightly different because I'd like to read you a passage from a book that I was reading last night. Well, I've been reading the book Between Two Kingdoms by Suleika Jouad. And for those of you who don't know me or haven't been following my journey, for the last 5 years I've been travelling non-stop around the world, researching for my up-and-coming series of books on culture, women, sailing, the environment, leadership, culture, food. There's about 7 or 8 books in the series. And it all links to my Authority Mastermind and my PhD and all the work that I do and the big roadmap that I've got, and also links into my podcast, The Truth Serum, which after today may have to have a name change. So I'm going to read you something from this book because I completely understand where this woman is coming from. So bear with me 1 second as I read this to you. I unzip my backpack and take out my journal. Lately, every new place I visit, I find myself trying it on for fit, I write. Could I move to this town, this city, this region, this state? Could this be where I finally settle? Just last night, I spent an hour before bed looking at real estate listing in Humboldt County and dreaming about buying land somewhere quiet and remote, some place I can call my own. In this fantasy, I live alone, with only my books and a couple of dogs to keep me company. Now, I have been looking at communities and looking at properties, seeing if it's somewhere that I could settle, seeing if it's someplace that resonates with me, that has everything that I'm looking for. I love being on the beach. I love sailing, just in case you haven't figured that out by now. I love seasons. I love organic food. But I don't really want to go back to England. I have friends to visit in America. Can't ever see me settling in America. Can't ever see me settling for anything or anyone. Settling is a very negative word, and when we settle for something, it's almost like we become stagnant. And for me, it also has the connotations of a settlement. And being British, English, I think of colonialisation and the political impacts of that. I think of the sediment that's at the bottom of ponds, and I think of all the chili seeds and everything that are at the bottom of oil. As an author, words are really important to me. They're my livelihood. I paint pictures with words, whereas artists paint pictures with colours. I paint pictures with black letters on white paper. I paint pictures in people's minds with my words. And tea. And today, while I was on the call with my coach, we were looking at how we're going to accelerate the next level of my business, because I have just spent the last 6 months going through my business, ready to step change it and take it to the next level. And lots has been coming up for me. Lots has been coming up for me. We have been propagating my podcast, which is a learning aid for those people who do my author coaching and my Authority Mastermind. It's a chance for me to have conversations about human rights violations, social justice and community cohesion. It's not, again, just like my books, it's not something for me to just gain another title of being a podcaster. like a lot of people collect titles for books, like as authors or podcaster or entrepreneur or whatever other. I mean, I have all those titles, but I also have the title of waitress and paper girl and barista and supermarket checkout girl, but I don't use those. And one of the things I'm getting present to is the number of books that I have written in the realms of human rights and social justice, the number of books that are coming out on those subjects, and just the position I have in the world with regards to that, and what does it look like moving forward. And although it's very exciting, it has confronted me. I want a private life, but I also know that if I really want to have the impact that I want to have in the world, then I've got to be more visible. So being dared to do this video challenge has probably come at a very, very appropriate time. And as those of us who believe in universal quantum physics, everything in divine timing, right? So, will I ever settle down in one place? Not really, I don't think. I'll settle down on my boat. I have my dogs and my books on my boat, but I need to be by the ocean. I need to be in seasons. I need to keep traveling. Energy in motion is emotion. And I get itchy feet. I need to see my children, and I want to see my mum. When I say I need to see my children, I do need to see my children, but I want to see them. And I've just got to navigate this. How and what that looks like, I have no idea. But it's interesting how when we read a book, even though Suleika's journey was about her journey with leukemia, a very rare form of leukemia, and she only went off on a road trip for 100 days, just reading where she'd got to after 100 days. And now I'm getting to that point after 5 years, and I'm like, yeah, I couldn't live here. I couldn't live here either. I mean, the locations are lovely, but I just don't really want to be around people. I like my solitude. I like the space in my mind. I like not having people just turn up over for a surprise visit. I like being around people. I like being with friends and having dinner and cooking with friends. But it's very interesting how we all, as humans, have this desire to be around people and desire for a community. And yet some of us just don't want to be part of a community. But we do. I stay in Airbnbs. I'm in one at the moment, hence the fridge full of magnets, travel magnets behind me. I stay with people. I stay in hotels by myself. I choose not to live in dorms or hostels because I find people who live in dorms and hostels very dirty and lazy and disrespectful of their space. And if the homeless people in Argentina and South America and Latin America can make their beds in the morning, so can everybody else. Honestly, those of you who have ever stayed in a hostel, most of you probably will not be watching this, but really have some self-respect for yourself, as well as have some respect for your parents. I'm sure they didn't drag you up or make you sleep out in a barn. But even if I was your parent and I made you sleep in a barn, I'd still expect your barn to be nice and tidy. Right, yeah. So lots going on. Very interesting that came up as I was having this conversation with my coach today. Lots of love nudges, as I call them. Lots of changes going on over here at dawnbates.com. Within Dawn Bates, who am I? Where do I go from here? And I know that with the books that I'm writing and working with other people, building communities, empowering individuals, creating communities, but not living in them. It's a bit of a paradox, really, don't you think? So yeah, leaning into it, as I'm sure many of us are leaning into a lot of things right now. And we will only see what unfolds on this journey and where our journeys take us. But whatever we do, let's not settle for anything. Let's just keep growing and evolving, not just ourselves, but others, helping others to evolve, inspiring hope and courage in each other. Because like the saying goes, when one of us rises, we should all be rising, or whatever it is. There's so many variations on these quotes, you never know what one is real and who belongs to. And as an author coach and a publisher, I know that a lot of quotes that people think are written by people like Brené Brown, they're not Brené Brown's. She got them from somewhere else. And some quotes, they're not from Churchill. They're from hundreds of years before that. So if you are writing a book and you want to put a quote in, make sure you get the real source and that you have cited the right people and referenced the right people and the page numbers and the books and the dates and the years, etc. And reached out to people for permission. Yeah. Do research. And lean into everything. Bit of a somber one today, I think. But like I said, I didn't know where this 30 days of videos was going to go. And I could be, presenting you with lots of offers, but I don't feel that that's what this is about. I think this is a journey of discovery for all of us. And if I can show up without a game plan and allow life to unfold as it unfolds with you, then you get to learn a little bit more about me, the woman behind the business, the woman behind the powerful books. And you can also see that I'm human and that there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Very exciting things. Yeah. My beans are nearly done. So I'm going to go and have rice and beans. Proper Latino style. So have a lovely evening. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, whatever time of day you're watching this, just remember, don't settle. Just keep going. Keep believing, one foot in front of the other. And yeah. Ciao for now.